Isang mula na mo ron chumena matagni ko ni rongo ni bibo ko matagni ke misa po. Niya na isang mula na sero ko ni sana. Chumena kino na mo ron chumay.
Tuna sile.
Isang mula oyo Mr. Ben.
Kela po.
Na magkikira ni bibo mataka mo ni chikira mo ron buka may no kina diwa na bula FM.
Apa tuna sile?
This is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Tonight, ILO Commission of Inquiry will be bad for Fiji, says Prime Minister. Tourism Fiji hopes to use Rugby World Cup exposure as a marketing platform. And $60 million needed to fix up all schools in Fiji. Fiji National Provident Fund has recorded a profit of $373 million for the financial year ending 30th June. Chief Investment Officer Chauchi Koroi says positive contributions plus 6% interest saw growth in members' funds, now sitting at $4 billion. More than $400 million were in contributions, an increase of 15% from last year. Koroi says the fund's strong financial performance is an indication of the commitment by the board, management and staff to secure and grow members' funds. The Education Ministry needs about $60 million to upgrade all 900 schools to bring on par all infrastructure. Speaking at the open forum with the Council of School Managers in Lautoka, Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says infrastructure development is one of his main pillars of reform.
For the past 13 months, officials have been visiting schools all over, and they've noticed that many schools, especially those in the rural, interior and maritime communities, are in desperate need of upgrades.
Parents are reluctant to send their children to schools in the interior, rural area and maritime because we don't have the same set of complement of infrastructure that we have in the urban area. Ablution blocks is missing. I went to a school in Yasawas, Yangeta Primary School. There's no toilet. Where are the children going in the daytime?
School managers from Nandi, Lautoka and Yasawa used the open forum as an opportunity to direct the minister's attention to their school needs.
Most of our school got solar system only in the office, at teacher's office, including the principal office in Asawa High School. And I would also request your ministry if you can help us.
Enrollment is getting bigger. We are already 1 to 40 to 45, and then immediately next year we will need another 2 classrooms.
With upgrading works already starting in some schools, the ministry is yet to receive submissions for immediate infrastructure needs from about 15% of the schools.
Even if we can get about 30 million, we'll be able to do the first level of a stage of capital improvements and capital construction that we want to do. I'm looking at least 60 million for all the 900 schools in Fiji.
The managers have also been told that the free education grant can also be used for capital works. However, proper approvals need to be obtained first. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama admits an International Labour Organization sanctioned commission of inquiry would not be good for the country. However, Bainimarama says the government continues to negotiate with the unions despite their decision to refrain from signing the joint tripartite report. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
Meeting with them and
the conclusion of the Employment Advisory Relations Board has been less than satisfactory, with an ILO Commission of Inquiry hanging over Fiji's head. Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama says they're still working to resolve the standoff with the major unions.
Well, we all know, you people know what the Commission of Inquiry will mean to Fiji. So it's not going to do us any good. So that's why we're trying to get the unions to come and sign. They're asking for things outside the ILO statement. We've made the statement, all within the boundaries of ILO statement, but they still they're not satisfied with that. There's nothing we can do.
The joint
ILO report was submitted last week on the deadline with only one union signatory, the Fiji Electricity Authority Workers Association, along with government and the employer representatives. According to the Prime Minister, the ball is now in the ILO's court to decide on Fiji's future.
Well, the ILO will decide. Right now, all I know is they have not signed and they've left. The government representatives are still working hard at trying to get them to sign. But the ILO will decide what will happen.
The ILO's governing body is scheduled to meet on the 11th of November, and a decision on Fiji's situation will be discussed. A high-level delegation from Fiji will be in Geneva for the meeting. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama will be attending the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Malta in the Mediterranean Sea next month. After the meeting in Malta, the Prime Minister and his delegation will leave for Paris, France for the COP21 meet. The Fiji Corrections Service has made a budget submission of $42 million, with capital projects expected to take up the bulk of its spend 2016. The Republic of Fiji Military Forces and the Fiji Police say their budget allocations is a wait-and-see game. Maggie Boyle reports.
With close to 900 staff looking after 1,500 inmates across 13 facilities, the Fiji Corrections Service needs capital works to be able to run their operations effectively.
The focus is on the infrastructure. That is mainly the Low Talk Remand Center, the Women's Correction Center, the dog units in the western side. Also looking at how we can continue to improve the cemetery around all over Fiji, the roads, our institutional quarters. That's where the focus of our request to government, and also just in line with our normal operations.
The RFMF Acting Commander, Commodore William Naupoto, told FBC News that they will wait for the budget announcement before making any comment. The RFMF received $103.3 million last year, with key projects like the Black Rock training camp allocated $7.5 million. Last year, police received $120 million. Key allocations were $2.4 million to renovate Valelevo Police Station and a further $1 million to renovate, extend and upgrade all police posts. Police Commissioner Major General Ben Huneveld in an emailed response told us, quote, "I can confirm that we had requested additional funds specifically for operational needs. The issue of vehicles has also been highlighted to the Minister. However, keep in mind the purchase of vehicles does not specifically fall within the Fiji Police budget allocation. To that effect, we have made a submission to the Minister for Finance on the need for more vehicles. We will await the announcement before making further comment." Unquote. The national budget announcement is scheduled for the 6th of November. Maggie Boyle, BBC News.
Still to come, a symposium brings national attention to breast cancer.
मेरा चांद मुझे आया है नजर, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। छाया है नशा मेरे आंखों पर, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। रह जाए ना प्यासा मेरा प्यार, मेरे बाहों में भर दे मेरा यार, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। है दोस्तों, मैं हूं जितेन शांडिल। आप रात के बाद हमारे साथ अब रफ्तार प्रोग्राम में 3 से लेकर रात 7 के बीच शामिल हो सकते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम, इट्स हॉट।
Fiji's sterling performance at the Rugby World Cup has not only put us on the map as a formidable rugby nation, but piqued the interest of hundreds of thousands who want to know more about our small island nation. Akasita Tale reports the Rugby World Cup has given us tourism exposure we didn't expect.
The Rugby World Cup has been a great opportunity for Fiji to market its people, culture, traditions, food, music, and even cover.
It's huge because our biggest issue is just awareness, where Fiji is and why people would want to go there. And, we're a small nation, so something like this really helps us to promote the name of Fiji and what it's all about. So, yes, we're expecting it to make a big difference to our arrivals, certainly in the coming year.
More than 8,000 capacity crowd on Fiji's opening match at Twickenham Stadium and close to 4 billion people watching on TV worldwide, it's now up to us to use this increased interest as a springboard. Tourism Fiji, based in London, says they have big plans for 2016.
All of which are looking good. The UK economy is set to recover, and we have a new office in Germany which is also now, really doing some great work. So, we're very excited with the plans ahead.
Jane West says despite a busy schedule at the end of the year, Tourism Fiji will participate at the World Travel Market in London and a roadshow to the truffle trade in Germany, Italy and Switzerland next month. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
98% of those diagnosed with breast cancer are women. The other 2% are men. Minister for Women Rosie Akbar says a key to the problem is early detection and treatment. Julie Vatwaliwali with the report.
Breast cancer has been revealed as the leading form of cancer among Fijian women. Speaking at the Breast Cancer Symposium today, Akbar said women should seek early medical treatment.
It is undeniable that Fijian women with breast cancer are detected late in the disease. It is a fact too that Fijian women often seek medical attention late as well.
More than 300 women in Fiji have been diagnosed with breast cancer this year. Fiji National University Vice-Chancellor Ian Rao says working hand in hand is the key to fighting this disease.
Let's all learn to work together to help those women with breast cancer, particularly when it's in the early stage.
Breast cancer survivor Marianne Wong Lee says it's everyone's responsibility to help fight and end breast cancer.
Just urging everyone to get yourselves checked, because my slogan is don't sleep on it. You wake up and you fight the cancer.
Breast cancer is the leading killer of women globally, with over 8 million deaths annually. Julie Vatwaliwali, FBC News.
The Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption has cleared Ayo Said Qayyum of any breach of the political party's Registration, Conduct, Funding and Disclosures Decree of 2013. Opposition leader Rote Mumukepa lodged a complaint against Said Qayyum, claiming he made a false declaration on his income, assets and liabilities. Said Qayyum says after a thorough assessment, FICAC has evidence the property in question was purchased by and is owned by Midlife Investment Limited and not by him. It was obtained by the Midlife Investment Limited via a mortgage valued at $80,000 and an equitable contribution of $20,000 by Said Qayyum.
What I do own are the shares in the company. The issue is, have I declared the value of the shares? And as can be seen quite clearly, that in fact I have overstated the value in order to ensure that there is in fact more than transparent processes that have been put in place.
FICAC has closed the file. The Itauke community living abroad has shown interest in the Fijian government's roadshow, creating awareness of the Itauke culture, language and identity. Itauke Affairs Permanent Secretary Savanatha Kaunisela says they've spent a lot of money on this exercise and more will be needed in 2016. Savara Tamboa has more.
71% of the budget allocated to the Itauke Affairs Ministry this year has been spent. Part of the funding going into the nationwide awareness program. Savanatha Kaunisela says the intention is to continue visits if more funds are allocated.
Because most of them have been in overseas for a number of years, away from home, and they've been talking about it at, where they are. And most of them really wanted, but when they heard what we have been doing here, they have been requesting if the team can come also be mindful that they are also okay in Australia and New Zealand, if they could also be given the same treatment or be given the same information.
Ministry has received positive responses from communities which have already been covered under the program, and those who are still waiting are looking forward to it, not only for their benefit but for their children as well.
And as I said, land, from fisheries, from culture, from language, from every angle. So these are also the information that they also wanted from overseas. Then bearing in mind, as I said, most of them have been there for a number of years. Their children need to be introduced to the Itoke language, but unfortunately, all those kind of things. These are things that they've been asking.
The ministry was allocated more than $10 million in the 2015 budget, and Kaunisela says he will need a bigger piece of the pie in order to meet some of the goals set for the future. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
Good news for vendors at the Balautoka and Lambasa markets, as they will soon see development of the market infrastructure, all thanks to UN Women. As part of its Market for Change project, UN Women has provided $872,000 to assist the 3 town councils improve the lives of the market vendors. This will mean concrete pavement, table stores and benches, as well as accommodation for female vendors and a resource centre in the Lambasa market.
The 10 municipalities are part of this program. 3 has been already done because there is some process to this, and once all the process are done with the other 7, the other 7 will also be assisted.
It's expected that UN Women will fund similar projects in other markets. And on that note, it's Friday Night Sports now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Jackie, and good evening. Coming up in sports, Fiji football's Olympic spot still firm after failed appeal by New Zealand. And $300,000 gym to open soon at Mba Football Academy. This and more after the break.
Imbula pinaka naturangan na marama na turbugi ng ngone lewa. Imbula pinaka rangone. Kanuita kini maratay tiron tapi tinggomian na biyo liba ni Radio Fiji 1 ang tabay viti na buongga ni biyan yan. Oya upio rotuang kada meni daw ni bengravi. Nama kia mai daw no kita tiri karua moniti kina barumbuka. Ene wasi ningono baru taki kilo manikoro ilutu na karom.
The Vodafone Fiji men's under-23 football side will represent Oceania at the Olympic Games next year. New Zealand football made an oral submission in support of the petition of appeal, and following due consideration, the committee found the appeal unsuccessful. In July, the New Zealand under-23 men's team was disqualified for fielding an ineligible player at the Rio Oceania Olympic qualifying tournament in Papua New Guinea. Fiji beat Vanuatu 3-2 on penalty kicks in the Olympic qualifying final and will represent Oceania at the Rio Olympics in August. And we join Tsale Ndauthakthaka now, who has more details on the dismissal of New Zealand's appeal. Tsale.
Yes, Jamie, as mentioned, even after being disqualified, New Zealand tried to bully its way into next year's Olympics. The Oceania Football Confederation did not fall for it though, and stood its ground. New Zealand tried its best to muscle its way in and prove that it was treated wrongly. But OFC played by the rules and have allowed our Fijian footballers to fly the national flag in Rio next year. New Zealand put forward a number of grounds of appeal in its petition. Each of these was dismissed by the appeals committee. New Zealand does have an option of a further appeal, but as it stands now, our football side is going to the Rio Olympics for the first time ever. Jamie.
Thanks for that update, Tsale. The Fiji Football Association will soon open its first ever fully equipped gymnasium at the Mba Football Academy. This was made possible through an income generation project grant from football's world governing body, FIFA. Josephine Navula with the details.
The new gymnasium is worth around $302,000, will surely be a boost for the Mba Football Academy and the soccer fanatic town.
It will be used for the national teams that will be here, and at the same time we are looking forward to a better income generation with the physio to be based full-time here, and they will be looking after the gym where people need to get some know-hows and training and things like that, and at the same time private physio will be available and they have to pay the fees.
The Fiji FA has sorted out all the equipment that is required in the fitness center.
The equipment has all been listed, what is required and all those things. So It's FIFA is just to give the final sign-off on it, and the equipment will be sent from New Zealand.
FIFA has started this income generation project around the world, picking smaller federations for development so they can be financially stable and more independent.
The contract is currently with FIFA as we speak, being signed, and we should have that all signed and returned within the next few days.
The new gym is expected to be open next month once the equipment arrives from New Zealand. Josephine Vula, FBC Sports.
The Senganga football side has won its first title in 40 years at the Bongo Primary Inter-District Championships in Lambasa. Senganga, playing in its first final, defeated Mba 1-0 in the under-14 division this afternoon. In the semi-finals played this morning, Mba defeated Nandi 2-0, while Senganga edged Lautoka 3-2 on penalty kicks. Meanwhile, in the under-12 final, Mba defeated Senganga 3-1. The Suva Golden Oldies Rugby Club is looking forward to hosting another successful tournament next month. The annual competition is a much-anticipated event, not only because it features renowned figures, but it also raises funds to fight prostate cancer. Tsalen Daudakadaka has more.
For the past 3 years, the Silver Golden Oldies Rugby Club has been hosting a 10-a-side tournament in the month of November, all for a worthy cause.
First of which is the rugby tournament, which I'll tell you a little about. The second is a charity auction we run every year to raise funds for awareness and testing of prostate cancer for men in Fiji. And the third one, of course, is for donors to grow mustaches, facial hair, beards, just about any crazy facial hair that they can get money raised for a good cause.
Last night, the club donated $26,000 to the Ministry of Health to help in the fight against prostate cancer.
Through collaboration and partnership, we can have a great outreach to those that are out there in the community. So I thank you once again for this, and I look forward to a very successful campaign this year.
The tournament will be held on November 21st at the Cathedral Secondary School grounds and promises to deliver some entertaining rugby on the field. Talento Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
The Republic of Fiji Military Forces is through to the semi-final of the International Rugby Defence Competition in England. Led by a host of renowned provisional reps with international experience such as Sireli Lendua, Chola Mimbera and Sabe Tambakanalangi, the RFMF side has been averaging 60 points a game from the pool stages right through to the quarterfinals. RFMF will take on France in the semi-final at 2 a.m. tomorrow at the Twickenham Stoop. World Rugby Sevens Operations Manager Beth Colter has passed away. Beth was a much-loved and highly valued member of the World Rugby team. Beth's passion and professionalism during her 10 years with the International Federation was a major driving force behind Rugby Sevens' successful campaign for Olympic Games inclusion and the growth and ongoing success of the HSBC World Rugby Sevens Series. Beth visited Fiji in 2013 to look at facilities available for Fiji to host a World Series tournament. That is your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
The Prime Minister and Minister for Sugar Vorenge Bainimarama says sugarcane farmers need to cooperate with the Fiji Sugar Corporation to ensure there are no more extensions to the crushing season. Bainimarama says the extension to crushing season is costing the industry a lot of money, adding that the onus is on the cane farmers to manage their harvest in a timely manner.
We've always made an extension to crushing season, but it has limitation. We're not going to do it every year, and we only do it with limitations because of the funds involved in keeping the mills open. But the sugarcane farmers should do their homework and get the canes to the mills on time.
Crushing has been extended for the Lambasa and Rarawai sugar mills. Generally, fine weather conditions prevailed over the country today. A trough of low pressure lies slow-moving north of Tuvalu and extends southeastwards over Tokelau, northern Cooks, and over French Polynesia. Meanwhile, a broad easterly wind flow prevails over most southwest Pacific Island countries. Temperatures today were one of the highest this week. Savu was the only centre that didn't cross into the 30s. Fine conditions are forecast for tomorrow, with the possibility of afternoon showers over most places. And the further outlook is brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. And recapping the main stories tonight, Fiji National Provident Fund makes record profit of over $300 million. $60 million needed to fix up all 900 schools in Fiji. And Prime Minister Burenge Bainimarama says an ILO commission of inquiry will be bad for Fiji. In our poll question this week, we're asking, should the South African diplomat allegedly involved in a fatal accident return to Fiji to face charges? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Bye for now.